When they say the devil comes as an angel of light, think of it as electricity and devices. Like, you know what's crazy? You'll never see Zerka using this computer if I'm not making money off it. That's it. I go live and I turn it off. I don't fucking stay on the internet. I don't get distracted. None of that shit. I'm either reading or OBS. It's like there's nothing in my desktop except OBS. We'll break down your depression. There's yourself, which is the real you, right? With your astral soul, desires, all that. Then there's your ego, which is the part of you that you are most conscious about. And it's basically, if the ego fuses with the self, you start thinking you do things that you can't do. And you crash and burn. But what you're supposed to do is, here's your persona, your compromise to the world. That's the mask, usually right there. Okay, and then we have collected unconsciousness, which we'll say is your deeper dream thoughts, right? And this is where your shadow and suppressed self is. Okay, so persona is what you're showing the world. This ego is what holds the sword of will to will things into action. And what you're supposed to do is, for your shadow traits, right? The traits you've suppressed, like I'm weak. Now look at this. You're weak, but let's say your persona tells people you're strong. I'm strong. The greatest thing you could do is use your ego to will being strong, maybe gym or whatever you got to do. And that way you bring, with the will, you bring this strength into the ego. And your ego gets larger and larger. And by the time you're 70 years old, you're a kung fu master who's a genius, who your point is to expand this ego. You feed it with experience. And that's integrating your shadow traits of weakness. You go get the experience of strength and you put it into you, and then it becomes in your total self who you fucking are. You understand? Okay, so you guys like these clips where I talk about manifesting and that gay ass word and all that shit, right? And it's real, man. That magnetic energy is so real. But you don't have to like rationalize it. All you gotta do is ask yourself, when I'm winning, what did I look like? And usually it's you laughing, smiling. Even before you win, you're laughing and smiling. It's really strange. That's why yeah, if you're bitter and hating your life, then it's like a horrible lunar cycle, right? 28 days of shit. Now look at this. Everyone says to manifest, you gotta think positive. You gotta think positive, bro. How do I end these thought loops? I can't think, but bro, they tell you gotta think positive, but no one says how the fuck do you actually do that. That's actually tricky as fuck. Like, how many people try doing that and then they fail? And then the advice from all these like teachers is, well, have you tried thinking positive? It's like, what the fuck? No, there's tricks to this, dude. Have you ever seen where I just start laughing for no reason? Like, like these kind of like giggles and stuff. I encourage this. I've encouraged this for years because I'm a grumpy guy. And yeah, before I focus and before I even will something, is it something I'm trying to do with my life? Before I put my focus on something, I always make sure I'm in a laughing mood. I make myself laugh. I'll watch something funny and then I'll capture that positive energy and then go right to my goals and stare at them and focus. Say them out loud, right? There is no point in, I see these videos with like millions of views on YouTube on like manifesting and stuff. Dude, millions of people are doing nothing. They're just sitting in their room thinking because like, oh, you just gotta think positive. No, dude, you actually gotta be positive. You can't just snap yourself into positivity. Like, you gotta, like the ultimate trick is to do your mini goals throughout the day. Because if you fuck up once, you get negative. But yeah, I should make a Yeah, I'm gonna make like a fucking series. I'll make a series about the tricks to staying positive, which no one ever talks about. Like, yes, you should be in a fucking comical mood before you start focusing on what you want. You should be in a, like, if you think positive, I will have a Ferrari. What the fuck is that? But now if I get you laughing, ha 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 ha, and now you're thinking of the Ferrari, yeah, bro, when you have a Ferrari, you're gonna laugh. This is an easier frequency to tune into now. Does that make sense? I always have my own bag. When I'm home alone, that's when I'm hard on myself, which is healthy. But out in the real world, fuck you telling me anything for, bro. I know what I'm doing. And even if I don't know what I'm doing, I sure as hell will never trust the external. If the external was raised with a TV, there's a high chance that even your friends, you know, they might mean well, but they don't have much for me. They don't, you know, they're awesome to see, but you got nothing to teach me, bro. You grew up with a TV just like I grew up with a TV. You're more institutionalized than me. So that's why I don't take what people say that serious, or friends or whatever, anyone close or on the internet. And Tucker Carlson's a good example of why he's so successful compared to other news anchors, is because he's the only one, he admitted, he's the only one who doesn't read the comments. I'm like, what? Don't you want to like Twitter beef and argue and stuff? In my head, I'm like, you know, that part's fun too. But no, he's too busy making $100 million, never reading comments. He just goes, does his show, and then turns it off. I was like, man, I'm doing the internet all wrong. I thought we're supposed to do some Twitter beefs and shit. Then I realized, what about the average dude? How much is he in his comment section? Like, you know, you could have 10 followers, let's say, and then you care about what one person posts on your shit. Then I'm like, one comment has probably made less. One comment has fucked up millionaires more than anything, because it spins into 10 comments in their head and shit like that. And then I'm like, if you could see how negativity penetrates you in the business world, you would turn that shit off. And if your job is social media, that's the tricky part. But yeah, that's the best advice I'll ever give is, you guys don't even make money off social media, turn it off. It's the last thing I want to say, because you guys are my money. But your health is more important. You should turn off your socials and go live life, dude. There's a big world out there, and you'll never see it from your bedroom, you know? I've seen the world like 10 times over, and I'm doing it again this year. And I feel really guilty about it sometimes when I think of Zoomers who never got out of their house. They never had that sense of, I'm on a Pokemon adventure. If you've never had that feeling and you're still on social media, that has to be your dragon. That's what's stopping you. It has to be social media. I got so many of my guys to stop it. But now check this out. This is you, right? And this is your idea and what your dreams, let's say, your dreams in your head. They're internal, actually. And then here is the outside world. We'll call it feelings, right? We'll make it something gay like pink. Okay? This is the outside world. Damn it. This is the outside world penetrating your mind. I feel tired. I feel lustful. I feel gluttonous. I feel greedy. I feel... Right? Because you're on your phone scrolling. Now, these thoughts of, let's go party... Shut the fuck up. What is that? That's like... Okay. Well, no. These outside thoughts, right? These feelings you have... The feelings are reacting to these outside, external, like the mental plane, right? Let's say... girls, okay? Your dream is to pop off, but your desire, right? Your external desire is girls, right? Something in the real world is making you feel lonely. You're like consuming media that is telling you you're a fucking loser, you're lonely, you're gonna die alone. And so you think of girls and get distracted, or it could be anything. And it's really about realizing this stuff is useless. This external stuff. Don't react to it by drinking and doing stupid shit. Just go back to your dream. You know, you look at any successful person, they just keep going back to their dream, right? You add the bricks. They're like brick layers, right? Look at that. You add the bricks and you just go up. And then you stop because you want to talk to some fucking bitch. Hey, yo, bitch. No. You've done that already. That's why you're depressed. Just keep adding bricks. Keep adding bricks. Keep adding bricks. And then one day you slip up and you do go out with a bitch and all you can think about is bricks. As she's talking, you're at the table and all you can think about is bricks and bricklaying. And then you go, well, maybe if I pipe her, this feeling's going to go away. You pipe, bang, 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 bang. I nutted. I'm sorry, babe. And then you're like bricked up. You finish that. And then you're just in bed and she's talking stupid shit. And you're back to thinking of your dreams. Now, you can go the road of staying with her, but eventually she picks up on the fact that your dreams are being substituted by her. And she goes, I actually want a guy who has dreams, chat. And chat goes, oh, but I put them on pause for you. And she goes, yeah, I don't want that. I thought I did. And the guy goes, oh. And the saddest moment here is when you go back to laying bricks after this moment, it doesn't feel good to lay bricks anymore. When you're off that momentum, because you've lost identity now that she's not a part of your life, right? You've lost identity, you're kind of confused. And then you dream of the days where laying bricks was fun for you. You dream about that. And you go, damn. And then over some time, over some, working on yourself, the bricks start to be fun again. Right? And then your buddies say, hey, let's go to the club. And you get distracted again and again and again. What you don't realize is when this brick laying process ends, well, what you have then is you have a castle. And bitches love castles, so you're going to have 30 of them to choose from. They don't like the cold world. They want to be in the castle. They want to be with the king. So now you have a bunch of them. You understand? Sounds like you lived that. Oh man, dude. I remember 21 years old crying like this. Tear down my face. I don't want anyone but my high school sweetheart. This makes so much sense to me. This is the only girl. But really, it's like fucking. What a fucking weird life it would have been if I stayed with her. I doubt I'd be doing. I doubt I would have had $1 to my name, really. And now it's kind of like living life on easy mode. Like, do you guys realize, let's say I went bankrupt. Let's say someone's like, hey, give me 280,000, you're robbed, you're bankrupt. I just go live at Panda's house and go viral podcasting. I just build it all again. I've got places to stay at. really, I'm like, my life is kind of like, I don't really have to do, there's very few people who have those kind of like connects and stuff. And the internet provided that for sure, right? As evil as the internet is, when you take over it and make it your bitch, it's so nice. It's like you've tamed a fucking lion. So when Jet said, not everything is about money. I don't think you understand how expensive this world is. Like, it's going to get bad for you if you have that mindset. You're one tragedy away from a mental breakdown with that mindset. Right? You need a castle. I'm not ready to start that new business, man. I'm not ready to start that new job, man. Not is never. That means you're never ready. You know how I know not is never? Because every time you said I'm not ready, you never did it. So if it's that consistent in your life that every time you say I'm not ready, you never do something, then if not is synonymous with never, you're never starting unless you start right now. Circa, what's the Jungian view of mental resistance when doing work, for example? Yeah, it's simple. If you've noticed, doing the same thing over and over again is giving you a bad result, you have to stop and let it go. That means whatever you're obsessed with, let's say you want big biceps, you have to stop and let it go. And now the tension's gone. You don't need big biceps, you're just going to go to the gym and train. Now the big biceps are going to come. But when you need and obsess over it, the obsession has to spawn in a creative way. So if you want big muscular body in the gym, it has to spawn when you're eating food that you're thinking about it. When you're playing video games, you're thinking of bigger biceps. It has to spawn everywhere. If it only spawns in the gym, like your obsession with big biceps is when you're at the gym, usually you don't go that hard at the gym. So if you're going to be consumed, like we don't have ideas have us. But if an idea is very specific, it destroys your life. You spin your tires. That's why I trip up my life so hard with the 7 months alone, and then now there's girls laying down on me and stuff. If I feel resistance, I feel like there's a valve of money. I'm making more money, and then it slows down, and there's resistance, and then I let go, because it means I've been holding on to a need. When God punishes you if you hold on to a need, like if I was like him, where it's like I need this girl here right now, immediately she gets turned off. When you guys were with your girlfriend, right? The moment you love her and you go, I need this, I don't want anything to change, this is heaven, I don't want to go to real heaven, I want to just stay here, she breaks up with you that week. Why? Because the whole matrix is designed for your evolution. You're supposed to evolve. Meaning, if you say, I'm just cozy with my girlfriend in a high-paying job, I'm good right here, what you're saying is you're done evolving, right? And immediately she gets turned off, the whole matrix goes backwards. Now, I'm not saying to let go of the need, I'm saying to fulfill the need, right? Excuse me, not to fulfill the need, to fulfill the desire. So your desire is to have that girlfriend. How can you fulfill that desire of having her? By letting her go. You don't need her. As soon as spiritually you get that, you go, oh fuck, the matrix changed. Wait, this is like a computer? Wait, what the fuck? Zerka wasn't bullshitting? He wasn't just trying to sound mystical? It actually works? And then you never explain it to other humans because it's impossible to explain. So you end up your whole life winning and getting rich and getting all the girls smiling, but you never tell anyone how you're doing it. Why? Because it's impossible to explain. Like, you're seeing it through your eyes, I'm seeing it through mine. It's impossible. Yeah, but you can hear from my the pressure in my voice, right? That it's not. This isn't something that's like, oh, I saw it once or coincidence. I've been studying this for Since grade 12, bro. Since grade 12, I've been studying this shit. You have a bunch of this tension and anxiety and pussy-ass energy about you. And why? You've been doing this for years. Years and years and years. Why do you have this energy? Because you don't know what success is. Success, and when you will have it, when you get it, you're going to forget this. So try and keep this in mind. This is going to calm you down. Success is like a couple months thing. So whatever you're going through can be completely fixed quickly. Your life can totally change. You can start January, February wrong, and then the rest of the year can be awesome. You could be in yachts. That's how it works. It compounds. It comes in booms. Right? Stop thinking. A lot of people think success is going from 40,000 a year to 50,000, 70,000, 80. No, man. No. Real success is nothing like that, dude. How many times you seen these stupid fucking YouTubers? They have one skill, they reinvent themselves. They do it. Even the boring losers who fall off, eventually get their shit going. Or me, I don't give a shit about clout right now. But I promise you I'll be the highest paid this year by the end of the year. The ideas you have when you're at zero without anxiety, those are the ideas that get you to next level, right? So it's not like, hey, have zero anxiety so that you can work hard. No, it's that if you don't slow your thought loops, if you don't know how to center yourself, every single day you're supposed to do this. If you don't practice this like a martial art, you're never going to have that idea, right? And the idea you get isn't the idea that changes your life. It just shows you a vision and you start slaving away at something for free. And usually that's not the idea that pops off, but it gets you somewhere. Like, it's like you're digging and digging and digging. And that's vision, man. That's, people talk about motivation stuff. No, man, it's all about that picture in your head. And there's no point in popping off if you don't know how to zero your brain, like to get your thinking to zero. Okay? Because you could have a million thought loops. Those aren't genius ideas, bro. That's just thought loops. Calm down. Slow your roll. Like, I fast forward my whole life and everything I do, and I even practice this, and I'm all go, 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 but slow. Now go. Oh, I went from 20 minutes to an hour, and it's not about the time. You got to research this thing. It's called qualitative time, right? And it's almost, it feels like some magical shit when you research this stuff. But yeah, 10 minutes can mean more to you than 2 hours. And so if you are finding this, if you're lingering in this emotional energy of having, your dreams have already came true, 10 minutes is all you need if it hits harder. Now, I do longer because, I've been doing this stuff for a long time. So I can't just tap into it, right? You can't just force it. Kind of has to find you, right? I do longer, 100%. But if it hits me in 10 minutes and I get filled with a new state, which just means new energy, wheels start turning. Yeah, I'll take 5 minutes with that. Let's say it hits me in 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes, linger in it and go straight home and cut the shit short and really, really get creative with my projects, right? And yeah, I use the next few hours to record content. That content usually hits the hardest. I know I talk about sometimes like born year the dog, there's dog time, right? For 7 p.m. to 9. But once you shift states, everything changes, dude. So if it's 3 p.m. and you feel that energy, start recording right then and there. and don't waste it. And you're gonna notice the more often you do this, the longer you stay in that state, like it's kind of like a Super Saiyan state. And then you're gonna compare that to your, let's say you're a YouTuber, you compare that content to your previous content, and then you do your revisionist work. So I've always done this. I've always made less money doing this, but eventually it all works out for the better. And I get a lot of my guys to do this reflective revisionist work where, let's say I have 100 YouTube videos, right? And I'll make less money if I cut them out. Let's say 70% of that I delete, right? I just make them private so no one can see it. I've always done this. Even though it makes less money, I've always done this. So that way the 30% that's left on my channel is just when it's perfect YouTube content. I sound perfect, everything's charismatic, everything's hitting like gold, it's just perfect. That way when I open my YouTube channel every day, I am in the state of I'm a perfect YouTuber, right? That all my content is perfect, right? So I'll do 100 videos, and then maybe let's say a year later, or for you guys, a few months later, I will do revisionist work where I cut out the fat. Do you get what I mean? At first, I'm not a perfectionist, and then when I have this content out there, that's when I do the revisionist work and I cut it out. I cut it down, 70%, and that way I linger in the state of 100% of the time I knock it out of the park, even though it makes me less money on YouTube. However, when I watch my content and I study only my wins, remember what I taught you guys? We only study the wins, or watch them or be entertained by them, all that. Then when I go to film a video, I knock it out of the park every time. And the first year I did this really worked, and I didn't have to do any revisioning of my content for a long time, right? And this is the biggest thing. This is huge, where yes, you'll make like a couple, let's say it's 5,000-10,000 less because you cut out a bunch of content, you get paid for less of it. You start producing banger content with your new state of mind that actually makes you way more money when you look at the long term, right? And it also builds your confidence, because then you can go on podcasts and you're like this perfect speaker, let's say. But you were never a perfect speaker. You just cut out 70% of the content you didn't speak perfect on. And that's how you can change your past, where if you didn't affect the timeline of your let's say your history, it doesn't matter because you affected the new state. You're in a new state. So I've even had guys tell me it works for a girl that dumped them, and they revise their past and they go through it where they don't give a fuck that they got dumped, when in reality they got heartbroken. And although they didn't change the past, the timeline, because they focus on this revision work, right? And they stole this all from me, is that back then I used to give this stuff for free. They'd bump into this girl that dumped them at like some party or whatever, and she would sense that the guy is in a state of mind where the timeline shifted. She would sense that, I remember dumping this guy, I remember him being shattered. Why is he not shattered? Why is he in a new state of mind? Why is he so attractive? And it's because he changed his past. You can't change the timeline of your past for everyone around you, but you can change it for yourself, so that past energy where you failed launches up and charges your new state, where you're in a winning state, even in your past, let's say. You revise your whole past. And a lot of people would be like, whoa, that's a little psychopathic. Like, who does that? All winners do that. They don't know how to formulate the words, but they all do that. That's why when you run into these guys after many years at a party, it doesn't matter if you were better than them years ago. The only thing that matters is that they're better than you now, because they've changed their state, right? And really what I'm saying is your state's not going to shift if your past keeps creeping up on you, right? Because that's your negative anchor. You have a positive anchor that'll linger you into a feeling, right? Maybe like a song or whatever. And then you have a negative anchor that'll keep you in, I'm still a loser, this happened to me in my past, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, you can change your own timeline just for yourself, just enough to change your state, so that when you run into these people that let's say they've gotten the better of you in the past, their thinking towards you changes, whether it's your boss who fired you or whatever. Their thinking immediately changes, where they think they're the losers and you're the winner. And the only thing that happened is you resolved your past, which is all collected in this unconscious, right? And yeah, you can do this with a bunch of things. I get my guys to do, well, I'm not going to leak right now. There's a really good way to do this, but revisioning your past is, it's like 80-90% of your the law of attraction that no one ever talks about. And people are stupid because they don't realize how easy it is to linger in a state, how to float into a winning state if your past isn't holding you back. More at thezircoofficial.com, guys. And really, you're not really put on earth to work that hard. You're not put on earth to work 40 years of your life to be in a small apartment. That's it. You got cheated. You understand? You got cheated. If you're working 40 years for a little apartment and a dog, then you got cheated bad. Now, if you're super happy with that life, then that's different, right? Because the most successful people want happiness too, you know? I think it was Aristotle who said happiness is the point to life. And I'm like, what a cuck way to think about it. And then I realized, wait a minute. Happiness is when you've reduced most of your suffering. That is your point. The point is to reduce your suffering, not be happy, go lucky all the time and stuff. But that's what you're supposed, every week you're supposed to be cutting down suffering, because new suffering is coming your way, right? And you can't handle new suffering if you have baggage dealing with old suffering, because they team up on you. Your old and the new trauma, they connect like this, ding, like a chain link. But you know, when you get rid of the old chains, the new chains are kind of like, they don't whip as hard, they don't hurt as much. And I guess that's where that analogy of clean your room comes from, you know. Jordan Peterson's like, you control this and then you control that and whatever he talks about. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, you get smacked around in life, but it's only a bad thing if you got smacked around in life for free. If you got smacked around in life, but you learned, then in a few years, you're going to be like, I'm glad that shit happened to me. I'm glad I got stomped by life. But if you're not learning, then you got smacked around for free. No, that's, dude, and it's weird. If you're an atheist, you really think your suffering is just, there's nothing to it. Oh, it's just suffering. But if you believe in God, you go, oh, all the suffering is lessons. And then these lessons guard my family better, my kids better, blah, blah, blah. I understand. Like, you want your kid to come up to you and ask for advice, and you give them the good shit. Because if you didn't get smacked around by life, your kid's going to look at you and go, Dad, I have a very complicated problem. You know, my girl left me this. And you're going to give him this whole, son, time heals all. Which is kind of like traumatizing for the child. But when your kid looks at you and goes, my dad got smacked around way worse, there's comfort there. He goes, oh, you know, it's not that bad.
I'm 20 years old and I don't know what to do with my life. My dude, you know how young that is? No one's got it figured out at that age. You're not supposed to have it figured out. You're not even supposed to have 10% of it figured out. You're just supposed to know motion, be active. That's it. That's all you're doing is practicing for the big game, right? Whether it's a degree, what you're learning, what you're studying, you just got to go do it so you're active. So when you do switch stock to your future career, you're going to be active. You're not going to freeze. Now, if you're frozen, not in school, no work, no nothing, just feeling bad for yourself, you're not active. And this is the opposite of masculine. That's passive. That's like you're letting the world fuck you. Like, you're just passively taking it. That's it. Another thing is like finding your passion and stuff. Dude, you already know what your core is, bro. Like, when you're not with your friends, what's your search history tell you? If it's all gaming, that's not your passion. But there's certain topics that make you there's certain topics in your life that you study for free. That's your passion, right? And don't worry about it paying you, right? Worry about mastering it. There's never been anyone in history who's mastered something and didn't get paid for it, right? That's never happened once. They're all liars. They're all black-pilled lying retards. Like I used to do like 50 viewers talking about the Illuminati, the Bavarian Illuminati, and now it's like half my fucking website's esoteric content that people pay crazy money for. And I say crazy money because I just keep jacking up prices and then sales just go up. Like, dude, you guys will buy anything because there's a mastery, there's a passion there. I'm not giving you some fake news. Now, if I was talking about lizard people and shit, that's a little different story. Then that would be scamming. But I'm telling you, it's like, I don't know why a 20-year-old would ever have to be stressed. I don't know why you guys stress me. When I'm stressing my chatters, it's the older guys, really. I don't know why you 20-year-olds like think that I was making shit money at 20, dude. No one has their shit together at 20. There's like one clicks or something that people focus on. That shit'll drive you mad, though. And you gotta watch out with comparing your life to others, bro. Because it's not that, oh, you're always gonna be this fucking loser and shit. It's that when you are a winner, the comparing thing doesn't go away, and then you can't even enjoy the big fruits of your labor. So careful adapting that mindset. But again, if you had to choose one mindset or the other, one is, you know, envious of people wanting to do better for yourself, or you know, being content. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'd rather you be competitive than content, because it's a cruel world, and you should have extra funds for emergency situations. You, your girl, spouse, wife, family, whatever. You should be the guy who takes care of everyone, because then you'll feel fulfillment, real fulfillment, more than religious fulfillment, okay? Because religious fulfillment comes from taking actions towards God, and that's like taking care of your family. It's not going to come just by reading a verse and having faith. That's fucking retarded. That's a stupid Protestant lie. And if it wasn't for that, everything else I'd get on board. I'd get on board that Protestant train if it wasn't for that, like, the whole just sit at home type energy. Yeah, if you really believe in God, you won't stress. You'll just work hard. Sweat by the brow, and just keep changing your plan of attack, but do not change the amount of effort you put in every day. And something's going to come your way. Like, when you think of all the good opportunities in your life, they only happen when you're active. Probably when you're winning too. So that's unfair, right? It's like, what the fuck? My life's good. Why am I getting a bigger sponsorship offer now? Well, yeah, because it's momentum, dude. That's how energy works, off positive vibrations and resonance, meaning syncing up with a positive vibration. So, good luck.
Buddies from hometown that you're like, oh, I'm so real, I'm chilling with my hometown buddies. Bro, every single person in my high school still chills together. And bro, I was loyal. Like, I would still stay with them. But man, now when I see them, I gloat at the fact that I'm away from them. You know what's better than, the only thing worse than freezing in life? There's nothing. I would rather fucking destroy myself than freeze. And all those a lot of people don't realize, like, yeah, you can freeze. For 2 months turns into 2 years quickly, bro. Get up on your feet. Realize you already have it, so you're in the state to get it. There's no psychic pressure. It just comes to you. Just like when you don't need a girl, she wants you. You don't need money. You already have it in your head. All you have to do is change the temperature. Go fucking make your dreams come true, because there's literally nothing else in the world to do. A human cannot stand a life without meaning. You know that a millionaire on a yacht stares at me and goes, that guy speaks with conviction. I feel the Holy Spirit dwells within that nigga. And I look at him like, oh, it's your yacht? Like, you're nothing to me, bro. You speak with no meaning. You're a fucking like the guys that Nessa dates. I walk right through you, bitch. Like butter, I go through you. And I'm telling you, bro, money, status, all that means nothing unless you are shifting your soul into the next degree. The next degree has to be harder, has to be better, has to be shinier. And then when you put your head down and work conscientiously, work hard, work smart, friends come and find you. And these are not your fucking hometown friends. These friends that come find you say, Zerka, get on the Fresh and Fit podcast. We want to see the highest view count ever recorded in our history. Break the fucking matrix. And I done broke the fucking matrix. And I changed my life. And now I make minimum 30 days of no work. In 30 days, minimum $51,000. If I do a couple of days of work, I can crank that to 80,000. I don't stream anymore like these loser streamers. Who do I have to thank? Myron, Sneeko, Fresh, Gary.
Be slipping off it because every single genius throughout history and a correct understanding of scripture all teaches that the state you're in changes the degrees of the reality around you, because it's already there. Like, your winning world is already there. You just have to set the temperature. Because I don't want you thinking you're creating things. That's a stupid way to look at it. It's too metaphysical to wrap your brain around too, and it takes power away from God if you look at it like that. But it certainly feels like we changing reality for sure. If you are in the state of a millionaire, you go for your walk, your ritualistic walk, and you start imagining, okay, here are my family and friends waiting for me on the yacht. See, because you don't believe it, it's too far out there, it's too unrealistic, you're not making anything happen. This is why, for thousands of years, ceremonial magic ritual has been done by, you hold a scepter, you put the crown on, the king's crown, you put the robe on. They're signaling to their unconscious, they know how the royal art works, they know how the brain works. Meaning, yeah, if you dress like a sailor, or some yacht owner, like let's say this hat. This is not intentional, but this is a great example, right? Maybe it is intentional, I don't know. You dress like a sailor every day. You're by the water every day. You're doing everything like that to keep yourself in the state of this millionaire who has a yacht and all this. Eventually, opportunities open up, and I'm talking about within weeks or months. Some people say longer, they're all wrong. They don't understand how cycles work. And let's go this way. These opportunities that open up, they will hit you. Kind of like, that meaningful feeling of synchronicity. It's going to hit you hard, and you're going to be like, oh, this opportunity is from the universe. Oh my God. And you're going to have the energy of you in that state of being a millionaire, a yacht owner, to explore these opportunities that sometimes don't go anywhere, but they lead you to other friends, other networks, that those opportunities then link you somewhere, because your brain is kind of mushed up, and it's not a straight arrow the way we're supposed to be trained. So that's why when we get what we want, it's kind of like, weird, takes many diagonal turns before we get that millionaire yacht life. And now here's the thing, is like most people would not be dedicated to that feeling of the yacht and the family and stuff. That would actually be an abstract feeling for them. It wouldn't be concentrated into their heart, what they truly want. So they'll never get it. And so a lot of people are like, wait, you're telling me that most people on earth don't want a yacht with their family and millions of dollars? Yeah, they don't. When you want something, it's an imaging system. It's images in your head that never go away. And you don't have to be successful to know this, man. Like, you don't have to argue everything. Yeah, most people don't actually. They have something else blocking that want, right? I'm sure the want's deep down there somewhere in like last place, but in first place is always some girl who dumped them, or some girl that they want, or something completely different than a yacht and millions of dollars. Which is funny, because everyone rationalizes as, oh yeah, $1 million and a yacht means I can get the girl. Everyone can rationalize that, but they can't change their image. They can't change their want. And that image is dominated by, let's say, the anima, or that archetypal experience of like the perfect woman, you know, the mold that no woman fits, that dominates men. You know, some people say that male soul is feminine because of that, because that dominates them. And I can see that, I get it. Like, even if it's not, even if it's not a girl you know, it's some fantasy kind of girl in your head. And that image, it's everywhere with everything you do, with your workouts, with your reading, with your studying, and you have to own up to that you're built like that. That's why when feminists say like a woman inspires a man to be great, as stupid as it sounds, because there's so many like fucking homo billionaires and shit, it's true that man gets out of bed because that image in his head, it's not a woman, it's just an image, right? It's like this, something more. Kind of like the words honor, respect. You can't buy it, you can't even see it, it's not even tangible. But it means everything to the world. Even if you lack it, the lacking of it means a bunch too, right? So that's what this image is. Like, it means everything to us. As soon as you understand your image, what keeps replaying in your head, you can actually find, let's say it's to be a great basketball player, okay? I know this is a worse example, but what the fuck is wrong with that dog? Someone's raping that dog, and I'm here for it. Like, finish the job. He's dead. So now check it out. If your like dream is to be a pro basketball player, buying the clothes, buying the shoes, doing everything you can to be ceremonial about your ritual of your basketball practice, right? Which is a type of like everything you do in play or in training is magic. It's a magnet. It's bringing you something. Same with your thinking, and then, you know, when mind and body align, especially with what the soul wants, that's when you have that trifecta of alchemy. And that's a lot more rare than you think. When you do see it, you see someone skyrocket to like a bunch of followers and all this, and then it fades away and then they become sellouts. But every time you see someone's wheel turning in alchemy, which a basic understanding of this is, how does food become gut bile and shit and all that? How does food turn into shit that comes out your ass? It changes state. That it's possible. You can change any state. This rock can be a gummy worm. I don't know how to do that because I don't have an interest in doing that. I only know what I know, and I know money, clout, and women. And I chose the three things that everyone wants. So I'm going to be in business a long time. But there are people, there's martial arts masters, mind over matter kind of guys who have other focuses, right? But it's your imaging, right? If you don't believe you can manifest a different outcome around you, it's because you've got the wrong imaging. As soon as you get the right imaging, you go, Zirko was right. And that was the most mystical shit I've ever heard. And maybe I'll pick up my Bible and learn that part of the Bible, which is the whole thing. And you should pick it up and you should learn it. And you guys should stop calling me a fucking Christian mystic and actually just call me, hey, you're the only one who gets it. And the crazy part about getting it is, just like me, we all eventually forget it. Then we come back to it. Okay, more of these vlogs. I'm gonna do like 2 more this week, just for you guys. Stay tuned. Hit your noti, bell gang, all that. Hit the subscribe. How do you vividly see what you're trying to do? How do you go into your goals and your dreams and linger in the desire to what is the point of lingering in the desire? I want to be a good big time YouTuber who makes a lot of money, let's say. I am a big time YouTuber who makes a lot of money. I feel what it's like. I linger in the feeling, the desire, not in the future or the past, in the now. I walk straighter and I notice this surge of new energy, like, I should make a new video today. And that surge of new energy, it's not that motivational spike of 20 minutes. It's something you can stretch out for like 6-7 hours of your day. If you're strategic, you can use music, you can use whatever to linger in that desire. Let's say you're a badass YouTuber, you'll play some badass music to get you in the zone. or if you're really good, you'll just use your imagination. That's what God put it here for. The imagination is like the blueprint to your dreams, and the feeling is how much you want to water that dream. So if you have a strong feeling of something you've imagined, you're pumping that seed and it's growing exponentially. If you're in a negative state, if you're a depressed person, you're pumping it with negativity, meaning your dream might come true, you might get rich, but horrific shit will happen because you're not guarding the other parameters of your life, family and health. And for some reason, health has to come before family. Like your parents have to see a healthy face on their child before you can see a healthy face on your parents, right? Which I've always lived backwards, where I think I'll just take care of my parents and make sure to like check up on their diet and stuff. No, bro, your parents are aging and stressing because your diet is shit. Clean up your diet first. Shit like that. And yeah, so health, family, and career. And it's either all three at once or none. Like if you just focus on family, your family will think you're a loser, your career is weak, and then they stop trusting you. They don't mean to, but in their unconscious, they feel unsafe because you're not making all that bread and stuff. So yeah, that's like, that's that manifest your destiny type conversation you guys keep asking for, and I never do it. But I feel like my English language skills are strong enough to explain this kind of esoteric mystery tradition that's lost, that's been blurred from the Bible. But you know, the Bible says you find the feeling, linger it, have it, it is yours now, and it'll come to you. The problem is most of us think it'll come in the future, which that still happens, but it comes in a worse way, I think. And yeah, and why I love talking about this subject, like, oh, making dreams come true and shit, is I don't have a dream left that didn't come true. You know, I can post all my receipts, I can post how much I make, I can post all that to prove to you. Yeah, as soon as I finished like all my big goals, the horrific shit happened to me, right? Yeah. Which it was probably my turn anyway, so. Unresolved karma. You reap what you sow, this is biblical. And yeah. Anyways, God is great, and I swear to God, you guys are all gonna make it. It's the time frame that pisses you off. I don't know when it'll be. And I don't have an antidote. If you're angry of like when it's your turn, when is it gonna be my turn? Yeah, I was angry too. I don't have an antidote for that. I wish I did, but do whatever you can to get away from that anger, because there's this thing that happens when you're in the world of creations. Like, you don't create, no one creates anything. God already created everything. You can tune into the frequency of any creation. One where you have like a great life, nice girl, money, all that, or a negative world, depending on how much faith you have in your imagination. Like, let's say Floyd Mayweather, it's like an atheist, right? But he has so much faith in his imagination that he's number one, that God still rewards him, right? That faith of goodness, that the greater outcome is rewarded big time by God. A lot of people don't get that. It's not just reciting scripture, it's like living in your imagination. Yeah, and I've been like a daydreamer my whole life. My life's kind of fucking awesome. I don't say it enough, you know? But it's awesome. And yeah, most people I meet, they lost like the art of daydreaming. So there you go. Cooking with water. So you have genuine inspiration from God, a great idea, that's fire. You grab that idea and you cook it in feeling. So I'm gonna be a big time YouTuber, fire. What would that feel like? Oh wow, I'm taking care of my friends and family. Holy shit, I'm so happy. I'm gonna linger in this feeling. This feeling has so much more energy. I think I'm gonna start a channel. Why am I working? I didn't even have Red Bull. Now you're energized. That is changing states. When you change your state, you change your outcome, which changes your income, and you become rich. That's why you'll see, that's why it's so sad when people like in UFC, they'll say, I miss the old, Connor. I miss the old this guy, because they change states. And then they hope that sometimes they want to go back into a state, but the soul has to keep evolving. You cannot go back into a state. You can't go backwards. So if they were a badass in the past, they can't go back to being badass. They have to be a new badass of something new. You have to just, it has to always go forward. The wheel has to turn. It sucks that it's like filmed from the bed, but you know how YouTube channels get all those views on manifestation, law of attraction? They're all scams. They're all correct, so they're not scamming, but they don't have the vocabulary to explain it to chat, so you just bought a book for no reason, right? And because I studied fucking poetry first, my whole thing is if I can get the message out there, they will get it. I hate those YouTube channels. I went through all of them. I went through all the books. For 10 years I studied on changing mental states, and I had no idea the stuff I was studying is aligned with the Bible and scripture. I had no idea.
And you farm enough mental buffs, marriage, good friends, good work on your dreams. These are buffs, right? These arrows are pointing up. These are mental buffs. And when you have good mental health, you don't get sick as often, they say. Even the ancients would talk about this, where your magnetic field, this is what ancients talk about. I don't know. I just read this stuff because I'm bored. They talk about this aura, this field, like that gay zodiac stuff that LA bitches talk about before they give you head. That mental field you have, right? That mental field that just is around you. When it's low and you're depressed, you get sick more often, you get colds more often. Like just the world starts fucking with you. And it comes from if you don't respect yourself, the world sniffs you out and they go, brutalize him, destroy him. You destroy him. And demons sense low vibrations, like on some vibes shit. I have nice vibes. But dude, if your vibrations are low, dude, the world comes after you. It's like that World War Z where they're climbing up over the zombies are climbing up over the wall in that city I'm not going to talk about. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this world is designed to penetrate you. And all you've done your whole life is watch winners, and winners are just like getting penetrated less. No, they just not really bitching about when they did get penetrated. You don't see it. They're talking about other things. Nothing is more sad than letting the world hit you. Some people will make someone a hero and they'll be like their icon for life. Okay, let's say it's Mike Tyson and I'm a boxer. Should he be my icon right now that he does shrooms and licks frogs and gets high off licking frog poison? No, I know when to cut it off. Like, I know exactly when to cut off the hero energy. I know when to stop watching and stop taking it serious. But some people idolize. They're like, wow, everything Mike Tyson says has to be true. If you ever catch yourself being bored, bad shit is coming to you, dude. That's really bad. It's coming to brutalize you. If you ever, as a man, are like, I'm bored. I'm just bored. I'm bored. I'm just going to scroll through the algorithm. I'm bored. I'm just going to watch some Animal Planet because I'm bored. No, dude. If you watch Animal Planet, you got to ask yourself, this is what you do. You watch it and you go, why do cows eat all day, but a jaguar eats once a day and is in better shape? Why? Maybe I want to start fasting like a jaguar. Maybe I want to eat more meat, red meat like a jaguar. But if you're just watching, hey, nice teeth. The scariest thing you could have is a passive brain, because to be passive means to be a woman. The difference from lunar and solar is male and female. That's why it's called the sun. The sun is active and it laps the moon in an eclipse. It's active. You want to be active. You don't want to be passive. Bad things happen when you're passive.
Okay. Number one most important lesson is the superconscious mind, the generator of the intuitive thought that you're trying to build. It gives that energy, that idea. Think of it like sun rays. You have many ideas, right? Many rays of light. But if you put a magnifying glass with your ego, your center of consciousness, you can literally do anything you want with your fucking mind, bro. Now that superconscious generator is giving it to your ego, the destroyer, that grabs, destroys things, doesn't create. You think you do, you don't. You give it to the astral, the quantum field, the astral field, the unconscious, the operator.
Some of you guys are kind of not understanding the manifesting powers of man. If you go really hard at it, and why people don't do it like year round, it's like a seasonal thing. If you look into like Neville Goddard's work and stuff like that, they never talk about how if you're manifesting year round hard, this doesn't even take a while, dude. If all you're doing is that high vibrational frequency of magnetism for your goals, and it's working, and you're just on a good, it's been 4 or 5 months, it's been awesome, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, everything's just building and building at a rapid pace, relationships, friendships, money, network. No one talks about the downside of not slowing down or stopping. And the downside is you're shortening your life. The new age community and all those kind of guys, they don't tell you that even if you're doing things the right way, and this is not like a demonic pact, this is like burning out basically you have certain star alignments that events happen on, events for your life specifically, and you can burn through that very, very fast. And a lot of people don't realize that when you see an influencer go crazy or enter a psychotic state, a lot of people say, it's just drugs. And no, because they've been on drugs for years. Something happened to them, they had a mental breakdown. No, sometimes nothing happened to them. Sometimes it's not even the drugs, which of course drugs lead them to like a bad place, but that a complete burnout, you see a lot of influencers or these kind of master builder types have, that complete explosion ending at the end of their career, and then they have to restart again. That happens from, they know they're burning their life force on earth, and it's an uncomfortable feeling. That's why you gotta pace yourself, have a good year, and then take your foot off the gas for a bit and plan your next 6 months, right? So yeah, this message is only going to make sense to you guys who are you guys in the community who actively do manifest without it being hocus pocus, like how to do it, right? And if you're doing it without knowing how you're doing it, just don't change your routine unless you're feeling extreme psychic fatigue. Okay? And remember, the CIA declassified documents all talk about you manifest your world through your emotions. So be careful what you have thought loops about. That's all. Shame can only come from self. Winning can only come from self. Losing can only come from self. Tragedy can only be dwelt in the self. Eventually you move on from tragedies, right? So this whole idea that there's an external and an internal, it's all wrong. Okay? There's only the self. There's only the internal, and you could call it selfish, you could say whatever you want, but this is the only thing you've ever battled with. If something external has made you a certain way, that's wrong. That's just wrong. You didn't deal with it correct. That's why you became that way. And once you realize it's all on you, but the Spirit of God dwells within you, then you have the Spirit to fix any problem that the external has given you. When really, the external is just reflecting an internal problem. The external cannot give you a problem. It can only reflect problems that are already within you. Think of
Just use your mind correctly. Let's try it one time, because they don't teach you this in school. I am not a bitch. 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 What are you thinking of? You're thinking of me being a bitch. So your brain only builds on positive. I am the man. See? You can only build through positive. You cannot actually negate negative. You can only build positive. You can only be pro-life. You can't negate anything, right? You can't negate the nature that we're dealt. If you're stuck, it means you're going up and then down and then up and then down. That's what you're doing. You're doing 2 things healthy for yourself and 2 things bad. 2 things healthy, 2 things bad. And you feel stuck in life. Have you ever tried going healthy all the way, you stupid bitch? Have you ever tried to do something correct for at least 1 month of your life? No, you haven't. Because you go up and down, and that's what these fat asses do. They go up and down. Today I'm dieting, today I'm not. That's all they do, and they get stuck. See it through the end. Let the seed blossom, bro. The guy who said he loops 2 weeks happy, 2 weeks sad, if you have this looping life of 2 weeks you're happy, 2 weeks miserable, it's so simple, dude. You're having weeks where you're being versus weeks where you're thinking of being. When you're thinking of being, you're thinking of the past or the future, which is big no-no. Big no-no. Anytime you think of anything in the past or the future, you are about to destroy everything you have here. And I'm telling you right now, it's not about thinking of nothing like a Buddhist. Just follow your desires in right now. So if you have a desire of being a millionaire, what would that look like? What would you do if you were a millionaire? Well, I'd get up and I'd shower. So get the fuck up and shower. Oh, yeah, but I'm not a millionaire. No, get up and do your millionaire shower. Then what else would you do as a millionaire? Well, I'd go to the park and I'd do this. And you start living your fucking life. When you start using the faculty of imagination that anchors you into the feelings of winning. And the feelings of winning are always in the moment. They're not in the future. They're not. God, you are cursed if you're winning in the future. I'll tell you that. Because that means you might get it, but it's not going to come to you in what's healthy. It's going to come to you in an abstract way. Like you're unconscious, that it's like tuning you into these different frequencies in life. You're unconscious. It doesn't speak a language. Right? It just says yes to whatever you're demanding. So be careful. Can a man talking about the future demand something? Not really. It's not a scary demand. If I knock on your door and I say, I demand this in a week, you'd laugh. But if I knock on your door and say, I demand it now,
donated $5.
you'd be like, oh shit.
Any advice for someone while not dressing or needing it?
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Way trickier, yeah. Yeah, we don't talk about how tricky that is, but listen, whatever you want in life, close your eyes right now. Don't take my word for it. Try it right now. Close your eyes. Imagine you already have that. Linger in the feeling and see if you still want it. And chances are it's not the real need. It's just an illusion. And there's many of these illusions you go through throughout the day that are going to dominate you. But once you unpack them, once you make that opposite real, then remember, when it's the opposite, you don't have it, you want it, then they cycle like wheels. But once you make it real with your imagination, then it's real and you don't want it anymore, and it dissipates and your anxiety lowers because the need goes away. The need goes into something else. It could be something superficial, whatever. It just keeps transmuting. And you can do that for all your thoughts until you come to the base form of what you need. And the base form is what you actually want.
You understand? You should really see your career, let's say career or dreams. Dreams is a better word for 2023. Check this out. Here's your dreams, okay? Dreams. Your dreams are not like this, oh wow, this is like cozy, this is so beautiful. No. Your dreams are here and they're actually being raped and murdered by the world. Here's the world, okay? Here's the people, okay? And they've got a bunch of spears, right? They've got a bunch of spears, these people. They're holding spears, okay? And you don't go to your dreams, you go to war for them.
Meaning, as soon as you make your first $100,000, what really happened here? You killed one of these guys obstructing your dreams. Boom! You killed them. That's you punching the universe back. The material world is the devil. You're punching the devil at this point. Boom! 100,000. The devil's shook. And the devil's like, oh, he's building momentum. I'm just going to pick on Dunkel. Leave this guy alone. This guy's hitting hard. And the coolest part is, the devil hates momentum, dude. Like, he waits for you at your worst moment. He doesn't like you going forward. He's so pathetic. He can only fuck your wife behind your back. He can only do stuff behind your back. He'll never challenge you. So you made your first 100,000. You're getting close to your dream. Boom. Now you have podcast. Let's say you want to start a podcast. You have podcast friends who have a good following, a good mindset. You want to build with them. You team up with them. Boom. You kill another one of them. Now you've hit the world twice. You've hit the universe twice. And you keep going, right? And what's sad is the dreams keep going further away from you. And they get larger, but they keep evolving. And you have no idea that this is God dangling your dreams in front of you and evolving them and making them bigger for you, just so you keep evolving. Because God knows when you stand still and stop evolving, the devil's going to rape you. And God knows if you stagnate, that's when they smell blood in the water. So that's why God evolves your dreams and makes them bigger. The closer you get, the different they look. Eventually, you might be in a completely different spot where the dream makes no sense. It's a different dream completely. You're a different person. And you look in your past and you go, holy shit. But if you ever look in your past and you go, whoa, I evolved to someone I don't like, that's terrifying. Who do you respect the most? And why? That'll tell you who you are. When you have a hard question, who do you immediately comes to your mind? Is it like Kevin Samuels? Is it this guy? Is it that guy? Who is it? So here's why it's important to, in your spare time, never, ever, if you're an adult, hey man, those games aren't helping you. Those video games and stuff. Look into studying about the mind. Because first you get intimidated where you go, I'll never understand this stuff. And yes, you will. Yes, you will. It's actually if your goal is to be wise and not knowledgeable, it's actually very easy. If your goal is to be knowledgeable, that means you have to study shit you don't even want to learn about. That should not be your goal. And to be wise is like to know yourself in relation to others, and to be able to see, let's say, what did they call it? Jung calls it the shadow or whatever, that there's really just there's a ghost inside of you. Think of it that way. And that guy is not you. That guy wants to do fucked up shit. That guy has 7 things on his mind. Jung said the only way a psychologist or a doctor, the only way someone can help another human being is if they've hurt the exact same way as well. That even if they say the wrong thing, they're feeling the right thing in the mental plane, where they go, oh, I'm not alone. This guy's been through it, right? So this alchemical transformation of the brain happens by pondering. It doesn't even happen by reading, writing, nothing. It happens by you asking yourself, why are you thinking that? If you onion peel why you're thinking something over 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, that truth is gonna actually make your life better, because it's gonna say stop doing the work. Why nobody does that and they like binge with whatever the fuck they got going on, right? They numb themselves. Is our biggest fear is if we get enough truth onions down our fucking throat that we'll just not do anything and delete ourselves. But it's actually the opposite. Once you fucking consume enough truth onions, you're liberated to do the only thing that's left, the real onion. You go, oh fuck, it's this fucking project that's been in my head for fucking 10 years, 5 years practically, 10 years as a form, 5 years as a practical thing, 2 years as I need to read books, 1 year as in I gotta organize, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself like, why did I go 27? When I got into this stuff, I was pretty much 27, actually, I'll call it 27 years. I didn't, 27 years I would look for real chemicals in the world to change my brain. Like real, and just real chemicals. Ain't that insane? I think will is everything, but the problem with willing your new life is you got to actually tell yourself it's just not right now. So if you want to will a project, you know how people are like, you just got to do it, discipline. No, you tried that and you're a fucking loser. Find the calmest moment of your day and say, I promise the calmest moment of my day when I feel like I got nothing to do, when I feel like I got, where I feel like, oh, well, what should I click on? Should I call a buddy? At that moment, just spend a little time in silence and say, would you like to start the project right now? And you always say yes. Every single time. And then you psychically start doing it passively, which is actually really healthy. You start to go through the motions of work passively. And what happens when you feel yourself fatiguing from work, but you're so passive, you're just like, blah, 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 blah. You start checking yourself. You go, wait, if I'm changing my brain, if I'm done with this suffering, I'll suffer with the real world. I'm not suffering at work, right? We're men, we love work, right? There's nothing, dude, I'm telling you, a man is the golden retriever, right? If you don't have a ball, you're losing your fucking brain. Even if you're making money, you're losing your fucking everything. You're spiros, man. You understand? The greatest thing you can do is ask yourself, what is the leviathan of your failure? And I promise you it's going to be the same as mine, because I grew up in this like age of information and blah 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 in our face, right? And what is the leviathan always destroying us? The leviathan is always the intro, the start. We can't start, and if we do, we don't like our start. And so we never get it done. Some of us who are smarter than others, we go to the end. We start it from backwards and start to work it backwards into the middle. And look, we lose motivation. This doesn't make sense. It needs an intro. This doesn't make sense. It feels... The greatest thing you can do is have the shittiest intro ever, right? And lock it. Say, that's it. It cannot change for 7 days. That intro cannot change for 7 days. That intro about me talking about toothpaste cannot change for 7 days. And now that you've locked it, you have to work, because it's locked for 7 days. Once it's locked for 7 days, you go on part 2 and part 3 and part 4, and you go, man, I'm rushing it. Part 2, 3, 4 suck. I'm doing so bad. You go part 5, part 6, just finish it in one night, finish it. But dude, this is supposed to be like a 20-day thing. Just finish it. Your primary goal should not be starting, should not be tapping, it should be, I'm not leaving my chair till I finish the worst version of this project. So you finish this horrible PowerPoint and you go, holy fuck, I spent 4 hours on the shittiest PowerPoint in my life. And you get up off your chair and you go to bed. And the next day, what do I have? I have hope and I have faith. Why? Because I have a PowerPoint done that I forgot about. I go, man, I did something stupid. I don't even remember. I just woke up. You press play the next day on your stupid PowerPoint. And you watch it and you laugh and you're like, oh, this is so stupid. I can't believe I wasted my time. And then ideas start to pour in the crevices of it. The greatest psychic revelations you'll ever experience. And you go, holy shit. If I change one part in this PowerPoint, that hook would look pretty mean. Like that would engage the reader or whatever, the watcher. And so the point is, a shitty idea is the only way you get to a good one. Like, never ever start a painting and think that's the painting. When I'm in the real world, I want to be the most like 𝘠𝘰𝘳, but when I am alone, I want to be the least like myself. When I'm alone, I want to be present. Okay? You don't have a job, Andre. You don't have a girlfriend. You got nowhere to go. Where are you gonna go? You're gonna stay in 𝘠𝘰𝘳's stream, you fucking idiot. This guy, what the fuck is this guy? He's like, I'm about to leave. Oh, what are you gonna watch, Minecraft? You're gonna watch Minecraft, little Twitch streamer? Huh? Little Twitch chatter? No, damn, chill, 𝘠𝘰𝘳. I'm tired of you guys always spending your lives chill. Life ain't chill, bro. There's fucking mammoths out there that are gonna kill us. There's real threats in the world that are gonna hurt us if we aren't fucking ready. Chill. Chill. How the fuck you expect me to chill when I know I have more challenges that are gonna obliterate me limb to limb? You want me to chill? Chill. That's what you do. You chill all day, chill vibes, chill this, chill that. How about I don't want to chill? How about life ain't about chill? You think fucking Mike Tyson chilling right now, but when he wasn't chilling, he was a savage fucking boxer. He's the best fucking boxer in the universe in his time. Was he chill? Fuck no. All of his chakras lined up into his fucking hands. He was not chill. You're chill because you're weak and passive and you want to live like you're already dead. Get off your bed, sit up straight when you're in my fucking stream, and fucking aye Captain me in chat, bitch. Chill. Tired of chilling. Chilling made me broke. No, I want to be like your original self, Mike, where you're a killer making millions of dollars fucking boxing champion. That's who I want to be. Not the street, LSD, fucking hippie, junkie. No, I don't want to do fucking shit. I want to be just the old you. I'm in my 20s. When you were in your 20s, you took over the world. That's who I'm trying to be. I'm not trying to be a fucking hippie. You tell me to be a hippie. You think you doing streams at that age that would have helped you? Nah. I had the ego. You're telling me to lose my ego when you've already made it in life with your ego? Fuck no. That's crazy talk. Who's got an ego? All the greats.
If you had to start again, amongst all the wisdom you've gained in your life, what's a few things you'd tell yourself that you'd hope would lead you to the knowledge you have now?
I just wish I wasn't alone for most of it. Things really started opening up when I got a little social, you know? Which is around 26. Yeah. Alone 20 to 25 is way longer of a feeling than any other age for some reason. Yeah. Alone at 28 is different than alone at 22, you know? Like not being around friends now is kind of different, but damn, bro, I was talking to my thoughts for so long. Been talking to myself forever. Because I never realized, even though I didn't cry, I was crying till 25. Just not physically. Like the inner child inside was like. What woke you? Well, I swear to God, I'm not saying this for clickbait. I swear to God, look at me when I say this. I prayed on New Year's, and a month, month later, I don't know, I bought a $300 PC after New Year's because the prayer was to do this YouTube shit. And some dude in the internet just reached out on Omegle and said, come to this show. And I was like, oh, synchronicity. I prayed for this. And then I had that feeling like I don't want to do it. And then it was so meaningful that I'm like, oh, that's the gate that I kept missing. I kept missing this gate. I never had this gate because I never even had a YouTube channel or anything. I didn't try. But I said, oh, that's my now or never, which was dangerous. If I didn't think it's now or never, I would have just done it more healthy, but I went hard. Wish fulfillment happens every day. Like when you desire something, it's a form of prayer. You're desiring it into your world.
So, for example, the most common desiring prayer people do subconsciously without knowing it is, man, I wish she would call me. And then you're putting it out there that she's not calling, so she's not calling, and she'll never call. So that prayer gets answered more than anything. Yeah. God goes on faith, bro. Like, would you have faith in, as in, do you have faith it'll happen, or do you have faith that it's not happening? If you have faith that it's not happening because it's not happening, it's not gonna happen. Sounds simple until you have to do it in your own life, and then you go, ooh, I've been thinking wrong my whole life. Yep. True. Ask Goggins will tell you that, or any winner will tell you that. Even winners fall off. Like Joe Rogan will just smoke weed and he'll forget his winning habits. It's like, bro, you're Joe Rogan. Go back to what made you. Go back to being positive. Stop thinking about, are mushrooms God? Like, what? The fuck are... I've had the vision and I never use psychedelics for it.
The problem is a lot of people see their dreams as like friendly. No, dude, you're at war. Your career is a war zone. There's a lot of people trying to push you. You know, even if your competition stopped trying to beat you, you'd still lose to your own mind. A man who conquers the world is respected by everyone except the dude who has conquered his own mind. We battle with ourselves. That's the truth. Every problem you've ever had is self-inflicted. Why? Because the problem might come from the external. Let's say it's a grain of sand, but it turns into a whole fucking beach when it goes through your mind. Your mind makes it so much worse. So I know you can handle a grain of sand, but you cannot handle a beach. So stop letting it become a beach. Why are you letting it become the fucking ocean, sea floor? You're letting it because your mind is weak. That's the truth. You're a weak-minded pussy bitch. You don't understand that the supercharger to your problems are your feelings. The problem ain't big. Becoming successful is not the hard part. It's staying sane doing it. That's why everyone falls off. It's like a weak-minded, soft soy boy bitch. You understand? I remember live when I said to this chat, guys, I'm broke. My first goal is money, so I never have to worry about this shit. I farmed the shit out of my chat. Got a bunch of money, can live anywhere, can go Colombia, I can go anywhere and live, and I just gotta keep working and I can sustain it. It's not like I'm a millionaire, but you know, obviously I'm gonna keep working. So now I solved the money equation, right? Very easy for me, okay? Very easy, it was just grind. But what happened there is you grind long enough and your creativity goes down, right? Now look at your competition. They're beating you, not because they're grinding more than you. They're staying playful with their grind. If it's a chore, your competition is destroying you. It's like the fighter smiling at you, punching you, and enjoying the fight, and you're just trying to go through him. Well, it's not working if he's better than you. You need a different angle. You need to be playful with this. You need your brain to be, is it called more plastic? What's that term? So how do you control your mind? Easily. Step 1, follow God. You don't see weak-minded conservatives, real conservatives. Following God is like defeating greed, lust, gluttony. It's so fucking easy, bro. There's never, all these red pill shit is so cringe. Since the dawn of time, they're like, hey, don't be a degenerate and you're gonna be a winner. It's never been fucking easier. Even if you're a winner like Tory Lanez, you go in prison being a degenerate. When you follow God, good shit happens, man. It's not rocket science. You're not battling with liberalism. You're battling with greed, lust, envy. This stuff has already been written about in a million different variations. You just call it liberalism, but you have no idea that liberalism is just talking about the deadly sins, right?
It's like you're maximizing the deadly sins as long as it doesn't harm your neighbor, and as long as it just harms you. You're at war with the devil. And here's the crazy thing is, you love him. When the devil harms you, your mind and body, you love him, right? And he's kind of upfront sometimes too about it, where he's like, hey, that alcohol is bad for you. And you still do it. You're appeasing the devil. The devil puts this emotion in you. Hey, you're lonely, so you fucking ugly bitch. Then she tells all her friends that no hot girl will ever fuck you again. And the devil's laughing. He goes, that was the best contract you ever took. I told you you should take another contract like that. And God's looking at you like, dude, you know that gut feeling, you know you weren't supposed to fuck that ugly bitch. Why did you do that? And you're just sitting there and, well, because the devil made me feel lonely. Were you lonely? No, I wasn't. I just watched devil media. I turned the TV on and everyone had a great life, and then I felt lonely. I was watching MTV and I felt lonely. And God's like, but were you lonely, my child? And he's like, no, I wasn't lonely. That idea was incepted by the TV. So why did you do that if you weren't lonely? Well, I'm 21 years old. I wasn't lonely, but the TV made me think maybe I am, maybe I am. Will you go off maybes? What are you, a fucking hooker? You're going through your life with maybes, no certainty? The truth is the language of God. You don't want to be certain? You look at, how can I get good advice from the internet? What self-help book do I... Self-help book? What do you need help from? I'll tell you what you need help from, bitch. Lust, greed, envy. This has already been talked about. Pride, wrath. Find out which ones you're overdosing on. And nowadays, everyone has like all of them maxed out a bit. So they're confused. They're like, well, they're all maxed out, John. What does that tell you about the world, dude? John, they're all maxed out. Change your whole fucking system for 2023. Your last systems are fucking failure systems.